I'd like to talk to you about nutrients in the marijuana plant. During the different phases, it requires different strengths of nutrients and different types of nutrients. During the young, very young cutting stage and the early growth, it's good to have a very light solution, probably around 400 parts per million, and it should be a mild flowering type of nutrient solution which is higher in phosphorus and slightly higher in phosphorus than in nitrogen. As the plant puts out more, it allows it to root a lot better, and with some B1 vitamin added in there. A lot of the pre-mixed nutrients that you buy, you'll note that they have that in for the early growth. And as the plant develops a little bit and develops a good root system, then you want to change your nutrient solution. You want to grow into a vegetative solution, which is high in nitrogen. Marijuana loves nitrogen, and it's very needful in this stage to have a lot of nitrogen. And when you look on the back of your nutrients, you'll see that it says NPK. The N stands for nitrogen, the P for phosphorus, and the K is for potassium. So in the growing stage, you're going to want a higher number over on the N, which it varies from different fertilizers. Some of them are already pre-mixed for hydroponics, some are chemicals, but regardless, it'll tell you the number. And you want a higher solution for the growing phase on the N number. And when you switch over to flowering, then you're going to want a higher P level. The center number, the center letter will be P. You'll want a higher number in that area for the flowering. And depending on the strain, you want to adjust your flowering levels. So on the growth, when you go from the cutting phase into the growth phase, you want to up your levels to a higher level, say around 700 is a good number to start with, and then you can increase it gradually as the plant grows until you find just the tips of the big, large fan leaves are burning. That's the highest number you want to go. You want to drop it down just a little bit. Once you hit that, you want to drop it down just a little bit. So if it starts to burn, say at 700, drop it down to about 650. And then you want to change your solution when you go into the flowering phase, and you'll want the center letter, the P, you'll want a higher number in that area. And increase you'll want to increase every couple weeks your nutrient uptake. Say if you start at around 800 parts per million in flowering, increase it up, by 100 points every week or so until you notice a burn again, and then drop it back just a little bit from that, and that'll be your maximum fertilization level right there. And then as the plant begins to finish, as we discussed before, you'll want to flush the nutrients from the plant, which entails just feeding it pure water at that point. Usually around 2 weeks before finish time, you just start with just water, and that'll flush it out pretty good by that time. One important factor which is often overlooked in the flowering phase is the plant requirement of trace elements. Trace elements are the secondary and the trace elements like manganese, magnesium. Those are the secondary elements. And then things like zinc, boron, copper, things like that. Those are the trace elements, and those should be added around the second week of flowering, because at that point the plant starts to really develop a need for those secondary elements. You can buy these prepackaged, and they'll be labeled usually trace elements, and they come in hydroponic and also for chemical solutions as well. But it's a very important factor, oftentimes overlooked.